longest time. Whoa. For the longest. If you say goodbye to me tonight, there will still be music left to write.
Oh, you're just gonna sing the song. You're not gonna.
Yeah, you're not a huge.
Okay, I thought
whoever that is.
Sorry, who sang that song?
I don't know.
No. Who sang the song?
I actually don't know.
What's the name of the artist?
Billy Idol.
That was his early work. And then he went through puberty and he was like, "Hello."
Yeah.
And they were like, "We had the song. You should do it." And he was like, "Nice day for a white wedding."
White wedding.
And they were like, "How'd you know that was the song we were gonna have you sing?"
Welcome to the Chill Spot Podcast, everybody.
Is Billy Idol still alive?
I don't care. No, he's probably still alive. Of course,
I've heard he's a decent dude.
No, I mean whatever. I mean I like White Wedding. Great song, like White Wedding, and
there was another
White
one.
Wedding.
There was another one.
And Black Wedding, Red Wedding.
Oh shit!
People didn't like that one.
Yeah,
that was controversial.
That one was less popular than the other ones.
My favorite thing about my extended family, my father-in-law, is getting into Game of Thrones now.
Your father-in-law?
Yeah. Who's?
Your brother's father-in-law.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, would that not make him?
I guess
my father-in-law.
Because Emma's your sister-in-law.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
Anyway.
No, my father is your father-in-law. No. It's just Gord. Like, right. I don't know what to, I don't know what
thanks
to
for just like ruin this shit over me.
Anyways, he's just getting. Well, like I was just you say your father-in-law, and people are gonna think that we had like a shotgun COVID wedding.
Maybe we did.
No, we didn't. No,
awesome.
No, we didn't.
No, and
I'm not doing that.
Yep.
I'm not.
That's how we roll in the Chill Spot Podcast. Instead of yes and, it's no and.
Oh my god! Just
anyway,
get out of my fucking gooch, man. Like I'm bad at this.
You're not bad at this.
I'm bad at this.
Anyway, so my brother's
father-in-law
is getting into Game of Thrones now,
whom we're cool with and like hang out with all the time.
Of course.
So.
Yeah, I mean we're close with my sister-in-law's family.
Yeah. Well, no, not obviously. People don't normally do that. We got lucky, and we all like each other.
That really works out. Actually,
my mom and your parents and Emma's parents all like each other,
and it's great.
Get along well. So when like holidays come around, we can all hang out, and it's like super wholesome and nice and good.
But he's in the like thick of great Game of Thrones right now.
Yeah.
He's on like seasons like 1 to 4.
Yeah.
I think he just finished like 5 and 6. So now he's about to get into the not so great seasons of Game of Thrones. And like it's funny because he was talking to me about it. I was like, "Can we watch Game of Thrones?" I was like, "Yeah, man, Game of Thrones is great." He's like, "I love Game of Thrones. I've been watching it all the time. Watch it every night. Like tell the wife to go to bed, start watching Game of Thrones."
Yep.
And I was like, that sounds like a good time. I don't have the heart to be like, I mean, a show like sucks at the end, right?
You know what though? Like he is not so critical of things.
No,
and, like,
he just likes to
that,
enjoy things.
Exactly. Like
I'm
I mean that, I don't
envious of
mean that in like he's not very critical. No, like
he's a smart guy.
Yeah, he allows himself to be entertained. Mm-hmm. Whereas like I feel like you and I, as much as I love us, we're a little. I'm gonna make a Frasier reference, but we're a little like Frasier and Niles in the sense that like we just like. We're not happy unless we can find something wrong with the thing that we just consume.
There's nothing wrong with being critical of the things you like.
Sure. But that just means that, like, nothing is ever 100% fun for us. So, and, like, that's where our fun is derived from.
I guess so. I have a comment on that, but please continue.
So, like, people aren't like that, you know? Some people can literally just, like, watch a show and just be like, that was a show. So, like, he's just watching it.
And enjoying it.
And enjoying it and just letting it wash over him.
There's nothing wrong with that. In my opinion, though, when it comes to being critical, a lot of people confuse criticism with negativity, which I can understand why, because a lot of critics get their fame by tearing down things. So when you read like a famous review of a terrible movie, you're like, oh, well, criticism is just this thing where you're a monster and you prey on the things that people like, and if you don't like good things, then you're an idiot. Like I don't believe that at all, right? I'm a firm believer that when you criticize something, it comes from a place of wanting it to be better and not like hating it, right? So there are lots of things that I love, but I have to be critical of those things because the things that I don't like about the things that I love, if that makes any sense.
It doesn't. I need you to say that one more time.
I love everything about the things that I love, and that includes the bad things.
Okay. Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Okay.
I could have been more clear about that.
Okay, yeah. I guess when people like listen to you critique things, not you specifically, like
Royal
royal
you. Yeah, I understand.
When people listen to you critique things, they think that means that you don't like it. And that, yeah, I think you're right. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's true. It just means that you notice some things that aren't, like great about it, or that you don't like about it. And it's fine. It just means that you have taste. It means that, and like, it's not good taste or bad taste. It's just you have a taste. Mm-hmm. And you're forming your own opinions on things. And I will never begrudge anybody for, like, thinking,
I have a question for you, Sam. Something to be interested about, actually.
Okay.
What, in your opinion, is your favorite kind of, like, movie, TV show? Well, let's start with those. TV shows and movies to watch. Like, if you had to break down your favorite TV shows into things like fast-paced or, like, slow-paced or, like, rom-com, or, like, if you had to really break down your things you like into, like, 3 words or categories, and don't get hung up on 3. It can be as many as you want. Yeah. How would you describe your taste?
My taste is... Ooh. I have to come up with, like, a Netflix log line. My taste... I'm just kidding. Log lines are longer than 3 words.
No, 3 was an arbitrary number that I picked.
Upbeat. It's weird because, like, the things that I usually use to describe my taste are, like, hyphenated, so it's, like, 3 words, but they're technically 1 word, kind of. Like,
I hear you.
Slice of life, coming of age, hopeful, funny. I'm using, like, adjectives that, like, show up a lot in a lot of the things that I do watch on Netflix. Like, cynical, but not bad cynical. Just, like, like, maybe there's a character who learns to love at the end of it or something. I don't know. Yeah, salty. Funny. Set in New York.
You do love things set in New York.
I do love things that are set in New York.
Well, you love New York. New York is, like, arguably your most idealized place to live.
You know what it is? New York takes the trouble out of so much because you can access so much in New York.
You could have a show set... You could have any kind of show set in New York,
like,
because New York is huge.
You could pick a borough and just set it there. Or you could have your character, like, need something specific, and New York is so quirky and weird that, like,
exactly.
it's really not unrealistic that you can find that thing. There's a lot of unrealistic things that are realistic in New York and only in New York.
Yeah.
Like half the shit. That's why I love Broad City so much, right? Because it's actually like they get into zany adventures, but it's like all of that shit is like there. Mm-hmm. That episode where Abby gets her purse stolen and like the tree man like comes along and like
that
bullies
big tall
somebody.
guy.
Yeah, bullies somebody into like not like honking at them or something like that. Like that's a thing that like exists in New York. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like I remember one cold open where they're trying to get to a certain car on the subway, and they're like, there's all this like commotion going on in all the different cars. There's like a different tableau in every one, and the one car that they go into, they're like, oh wow, like it's empty, it's completely empty, and then they like breathe a little bit, and they're like, oh man, and there's just like a pile of shit, like human feces in the subway car, and like one person is sitting there eating a sandwich, apparently just like completely unbothered.
Right.
And it's like, that's totally a fucking thing that happens in New York City. Like, I totally believe that person was sitting there because they were like, yes, this whole car smells like shit, but I get a car to myself in New York. Like, when is that going to happen again?
Buy some nose plugs.
That's like the ultimate would you rather situation. It's like, you get a car on the subway in New York to yourself, completely unbothered, but there's a steaming fresh pile of human feces on the floor.
Literal doo-doo right over there.
Do you sit in it?
Yeah.
It's the ultimate would you rather.
Car, to be honest, I sit in the car.
I just love all of the different ways that New York can be,
right.
You know?
But let's get off track. So how would you describe your tastes?
Funny, upbeat, and like this is breaking the rule, but like coming of age. It's hyphenated.
It's
hyphenated,
whatever.
So it's one word.
No, I said like 4 times. Like, don't worry about the three.
Okay.
3 was a totally arbitrary number.
Funny, upbeat, we'll say coming of age. I mean, like slice of life, but I've looked into like the actual definition of slice of life recently, and it's kind of static. Like slice of life is like, yeah, like in the context of like manga, like slice of life is like nothing ever really happens.
Well, slice of life is like Ouran Host Club.
Yeah.
Or like like I guess Gintama. You can argue that Gintama is a slice of life
Fruits
comedy.
Basket slice of life?
I'd say that Fruits Basket is slice of life.
Okay, I've never read Fruits Basket.
Because
that one was really popular with my friends when I was in high school.
Yeah, all of those like shoujo type mangas where it's like it's just a school club.
Yes.
And the things that happen in this club.
Yeah, exactly. No, I like my things to have an arc, to have like a bit of an aim.
Yeah.
Like I would say Napoleon Dynamite is like slice of life up until a certain point. You know, pretty much up until he meets Pedro and Pedro decides to run for class president. Mm-hmm. It's pretty slice of life. It's pretty like non-consequential.
Actually, I'm curious because I didn't realize this. Is slice of life's definition denote that it has to remain static? Is that like part of the...
No, I'm just saying that like based off of the definition that I found when I looked it up, slice of life seems pretty static. Where like, oh, my phone is over here. I'll Google it right now. But the definition that Google gave me was basically like, it is literally just somebody's life as it happens. Yeah. So it's not necessarily super exciting all of the time. Mm-hmm. Slice of life, Google defines it as a realistic representation of everyday experience in a movie, play, or book.
Okay.
In theater, slice of life refers to naturalism, while in literary parlance, it is a narrative. This is Wikipedia now. It is a narrative technique in which a seemingly arbitrary sequence of events in a character's life is presented, often lacking plot development, conflict, and exposition, as well as often having an open ending. Right? So, like, it's literally just somebody's life. And,
like Lady Bird.
I would say that, like, Lady Bird's sort of... development is like as she gets closer and closer to getting her college acceptance letter. So I wouldn't say that it's slice of life necessarily.
Well, the only reason I would say it's slice of life because is that like it's very much like it starts at this point in her life,
yeah,
and then it ends at this point in her life,
yeah,
and the beginning nor the end is neither the beginning of her life nor the end of her life.
Right.
There's like way more life before and way more life after therefore a slice of life.
Yeah. I mean, like, the thing that I was going off of was, like, the literary definition.
Yeah, like the written definition of it, sure.
Yeah, like how it's used in, like, books and comics and stuff like that. So,
interesting.
I think in movies, we could afford to be a little bit more broad and say that it is, like, it's something like Lady Bird, which depicts a certain section of somebody's life.
Yeah.
As it goes along. I definitely think Napoleon Dynamite is, like, the perfect example of a slice of life in movies. Because there's just, like, there's so many little things that happen, and it's just it's inconsequential. It's non-sequential. It's not like
this happens.
Napoleon's
and then this
grandma leaves, and because his grandma leaves, something else happens. I mean, something does kind of happen. That's how Uncle Rico winds up moving in with them. But like, it's like it doesn't really.
I hear what you mean.
It's not like his grandma leaves and Uncle Rico moves in, and it's all about him trying to adjust to life living with his Uncle Rico. There's like a million other things that happen.
Yeah.
Like him meeting Deb and Pedro that have nothing to do with Uncle Rico.
There's no one major inciting incident.
Yeah.
Which like kickstarts the story.
Yeah. I mean, like, I know that his grandma gets into an accident and that ensures that Uncle Rico sticks around for a little while longer, but it's pretty much just like a reason for Uncle Rico to be there longer and like continue wreaking havoc on their lives. But that is not even the central focus of the movie, Like, it definitely throws a caveat in there somewhere where like Uncle Rico gives Deb the breast enhancement flyer, and she stops being friends with Napoleon for a bit because of it. But it's like other shit happens,
Right.
He takes what's her face to the prom and like helps Pedro run for class president, and this is out of order, but like he tries that fucking time machine that zaps his balls.
Yeah.
Like it's not necessarily like in order,
right?
Okay. And a more focused movie, like a coming of age story, would be like,
I guess Lady
Napoleon's grandma gets into an accident on the sand dunes, and Uncle Rico moves in, and the two have to learn to get along with each other, and Napoleon like grows up because of it. And like that's
due to that experience.
Pedro doesn't run for president. Napoleon doesn't take what's her face Summer, Wilson's friend, to prom. Like, they don't. I'm trying to think of like other shit that happens. Like Kip and LaFonda just like don't fucking matter.
Just don't happen.
Like it would just be more focused, or at least it would be less developed, Kip and LaFonda. In like a coming of age story. Because like King of Staten Island is all about like Scott, which is like the Pete Davidson's character's name, like
Call
growing
Pete.
up, you know?
Yeah, it's Pete. We all know
It's all
Pete
about
Davidson.
him, you know? Whereas
Right.
like and yeah.
Well, it's interesting about the King of Staten. I haven't seen it yet, of course, but you said it was good.
I liked it.
And
I appreciated it.
you know, it's got Pete Davidson and it's Judd Apatow, and you know, regardless of your opinion on that guy, you can't deny that he's made good movies.
Yeah, I got
know?
really heated on Twitter the other day because somebody was like, "Oh, another Judd Apatow movie where somebody goes through a hardship in order to like figure themselves out." And I'm like, "Do you mean movies?"
Right.
Fuck. Hey.
Two comments. First thing, to answer the question that I asked you, I think my own tastes was probably things.
Sorry, I didn't ask it back. That was rude.
No, it's okay.
I do want to know though.
Yeah. I would say that my tastes are things that are colorful, even paced, and cool. I love cool shit. Like
Colorful, eh?
like things that are colorful are the best. I love when something is really colorful. Okay. Like something that really pops out. One of my favorite movies of a couple years ago was Annihilation. It was a horror / like psychedelic movie that like it had this whole thing. Like, I'm gonna really try to explain this the best I can, but I don't have the words for it. But I really love movies that juxtapose the real world against like borderline high fantasy magic shit.
That's
like,
very on brand for you.
Movies like Arrival, movies like Annihilation. I love Marvel movies for that reason because like superheroes are dope. Which all happen to be colorful and even paced. And I say even paced because I don't mind slower paced movies. It's just your pacing has to be good.
Well, I was just gonna say like, I was like, oh, if you like colorful stuff, then it's surprising that you don't like Blade Runner. And then I was like, even pace was in there. Never mind.
You know, I've never seen Blade Runner.
So slow.
I've heard that.
Good movie. Like
sure,
I
yeah.
appreciate it. Film nerds, leave me alone. It's a fine movie.
Yeah.
I'm in no rush to watch it again.
Oh yeah, but even like but then the biggest thing for me though is the cool. I love cool shit.
Yeah, well
cool
that's
shit
why
is
I
my
was gonna
bag.
say Blade Runner 2 because it's colorful and it's cool.
I'm sure if I watched it, I probably really enjoyed it. I just haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I mean, if it ticks off 2 out of the 3 things, would you say that if a movie ticks off 2 out of the 3 things, you can forgive it for not having the 3rd?
I'd say if it ticks off 1. Like,
okay.
If it really like if something like I can't think of a good example. Actually, I can have a good example. You ever heard of The Boy and the Beast?
Yeah.
It's an animated movie I talk
Yeah.
about frequently.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good movie. It's really well animated and it's really colorful, but the 3rd act is terrible and it ticks off the cool and colorful, but the pacing sucks because the 3rd act is bad.
Goes bad, yeah.
So I think ultimately I still love that movie.
Can you think of something that only has one of those things that you still like, despite it not having all of your boxes ticked?
Off the top of my head, no.
Okay.
To be honest, I'd have to think about it.
What's a movie that you really thought you weren't going to enjoy and was pleasantly surprised coming out of?
A movie that I really, in recent memory,
It can be recent, it can be old, it can be whatever.
in most recent memory, it's going to be,
Irishman?
yes, that's one of them. Let's talk about The Irishman. Yeah, let's do that instead. I was going to say, How to Lose a Guy in 7 Days.
Oh,
Or-
you mean 10 Things I Hate About
A
You?
Heath Ledger movie. I don't
Yeah.
know. The fuck, there's too many of them, and they'll have numbers in their names.
No, they don't.
And they're all the same fucking
No,
movie.
they don't. I just so happened to make you watch How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days and 10 Things I Hate About You back to back.
Fucking stupid. Anyway, two things. First thing is, yes, that movie with Heath Ledger was really good.
Okay.
That was a awesome rom-com. I
love that you liked that
But
one.
because it was
It's a
colorful
really-
and it was colorful and fun and even
Yeah,
paced.
yeah.
There wasn't anything quote unquote cool in it, but like actually, you know what? I will say I really thought that scene where he comes out and sings Frankie Valli, which I know
Yeah.
is like
iconic.
the penultimate like
No, but like
put Heath Ledger on the
yeah.
map style
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah.
But I love that moment. Like I
Yeah.
thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
But you know, The Irishman was a movie that really surprised me. I knew that I would like it because it's Scorsese.
Yeah.
And it's all these powerhouse actors.
Yeah.
And it's mafia movies, and
Yeah.
I'm so fucking I love organized crime style stories. So fucking cool. It's my favorite. But I was really, really surprised how much I liked that movie. It's the only 3-hour movie that I think I want to watch again. Like,
Yeah,
it's
well, that's
like
my
I
thing,
really
right?
liked it.
Is that like you usually
There are hour-long movies I don't ever want to watch again.
I was gonna say like you're a huge runtime guy. Like I never really paid attention to runtimes that
Time is
hard
money, baby.
Before,
and I have little of both.
So like when I heard that like this movie was like 3 hours long, I was like, oh, Cam's gonna it's gonna get to a point where Cam's gonna lose patience with it. But you were more into it than I was.
I was super engrossed.
Yeah.
I from the moment that movie started to the moment that movie ended, I was glued to the screen.
Yeah.
Just blown away, actually, by how much I like that movie.
Yeah.
It's obviously that we come from an acting background. I'm sure we could both appreciate this. But when it comes to a powerhouse performance and seeing really good actors do what they're good at,
yeah,
and also like
nothing like a masterclass.
And I have a soft spot for old Italian men due to my family and stuff. So like when they got really old and they were like hanging out and doing old guy stuff, but it's amazing because you remember like 2 hours ago you saw these guys in their 40s and now they're like in their 80s. Like we've been here for this 40 years. We saw this whole journey. I got really emotional near the end. You know, I was like, wow, what a fucking movie. Damn, Martin. I need to watch more of his filmography. I've only seen The Irishman and Wolf of Wall Street.
That's it?
I've never seen Goodfellas. He did The Departed, is that right?
Yes.
He had never seen The Departed?
The Departed is excellent.
Well,
so is Goodfellas.
You want to know the only reason I don't want to watch The Departed?
What's that?
I know the big thing that happens halfway through the movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, someone spoiled it for me.
Oh, well, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
That's such ass, dude. What?
Actually, you know what? It wasn't spoiled for me. Me and Dad were flipping channels one day.
Oh, and
he was like, you ever watch The Departed? And I was like, no, put it on. And then it was that scene. And I was like, oh, well, all right. I mean, I don't know the context. I don't know the build-up. So, you know, maybe there's more to see. I need to watch more movies in general. Like, I'm really good about movies from, like, 2012 to, like, 2020, pretty much. I'm really, that's my, like, decade of movies. Anything before that's a total wash. And that's, like, 90% of movie history. But yeah.
Yeah, I know.
I love cool shit though.
Yeah.
Like something that sticks out in my head is like Avengers 2 when like Thor and Cap do the thing where Thor hits Cap's shield and it does that like sonic boom.
Oh yeah.
It's like cool, they figured that out.
God, I love shit.
Super neat. But no, I say that's my taste. I don't remember. I said I had 2 points. You were talking about before we got into my tastes. You were talking about right at the end. What did you remember what you said?
I asked you if there was anything like a movie that you didn't like, or like a movie that didn't tick off one or two of the things, but still worked for you.
No, but I was going to mention something before that. Sorry, everyone. This isn't interesting to listen to while we reminisce.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, whatever. Maybe it'll come back to me.
But yeah. I was going to say, I get really lost in mob movies, and I just found myself getting really lost in Irishman.
Yeah.
Just like the families, and it's like they introduce you fully to them once, and then they give them like a nickname or refer to them by like one of their names, either first or last, and then they never say the name again, and it's like, I get confused. I need to write like a family tree down every time I watch a mob movie.
For fucking sure.
Because I just can't keep track of all of the characters.
Well, especially because like you just said, especially when it comes to movies involving like the Italian mafia, Italians, and for those at home.
Also, like, can I just say, like, maybe you're about to make this point, but like, I get so lost in Italian names. Like, they're like, like Italiano Scarabucci and Philly Giovanni DiGraggio and like fucking Dudio,
it's Manicotti over here.
Manicotti, fucking Ricotta Tiglioni. And I'm like, I'm so lost. Like, I can't.
Fuck you, punk! I'll give you some of my balsamic fucking vinegar.
I don't want to hear anything about black names being hard because Italian names are ridiculous.
Yeah, for sure.
Just ridiculous. I think
I'm Italian, by the way, for those who want to know.
I remember you told me the name of some kid that you went to school with, and I laughed for like 5 hours.
I'm not going to say his name, but I remember who it is. Because
you said the name, and it was so ridiculous and so Italian.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's not a real fucking name.
Yeah.
I was like, you made that up just now to protect the innocent. And you were like, no, that's his real name. And I was like, no, it's not.
Zucchini Zamboni.
And I was like, that's the name of like the kid in a movie that gets like shoved into a locker all the time. And you were like, that's the kind of kid he was. And I was like, of course.
Yeah, naturally.
Of course.
No, yeah, but in that same vein.
Don't I know it?
Talking about Italian names. Italians are also huge on nicknames and shortening names.
Yes.
So like one character might have like 3 fucking things that they get called by, and I totally get it because authenticity wise, that's super authentic.
Yeah.
However,
When you're trying to keep track of people in a movie,
it's a little harder.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
I get so lost. And then like sometimes like they'll be like, this is Maglione Scarapucci. He's the most important man in Brooklyn in 1947. And then he just disappears. Or like, because I guess I'm supposed to assume that because he's like a boss, he doesn't need to show up that much because he has cronies doing his work for him.
Yeah.
So the cronies are actually the people that I should be paying attention to, but I've exerted so much energy, like mental energy, memorizing Maglione Scarapucci or whatever I called him. And
man, all the Italians in Mississauga are like, that fucking chill spot, I want them both dead. You hear me? I want to skin their faces and swap them.
Oh yeah, you're gonna come after me, fucking like Casa di Mama, fucking Ristorante, pepperoni.
You come here on the day of my daughter's wedding.
Yeah, I came here on the day of your daughter's wedding.
That's just my old man voice. It's not even Italian.
Goddamn spinacci.
Could you imagine if Marlon Brando opened
I'm just listing ingredients that I've seen on the covers of Ristorante frozen pizzas, by
amazing.
the way.
You talk about the one with the 4 peppers?
Yeah.
There's one of them that's got the green and the yellow and the orange and the red.
Yeah, that fucking guy that, what was his name? Fucking Quattro Formaggi, huh? I made him a lasagna.
Yay, pineapple on pizza.
I called
I don't
him
give a fuck.
spinacci.
Yeah. I would love to have a
They're
full...
fine. Italians are fine.
No one has a problem with Italians.
Yeah.
Who the fuck has a problem with Italians
No one's
anymore?
coming after Italians.
It's not the 1920s.
I was
Who the
gonna
fuck has a
say,
problem with
ever
Italian
since-
people anymore?
Ever since, goddamn, what's his face? The dictator.
Who?
Hitler's friend.
Oh, Mussolini.
Ever since Mussolini, we've been good. They've
Yeah,
been good.
really.
They've been fine.
They figured it out.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, red wine and tomato sauce. That's the
Yeah.
fucking 2 things we need. There
Yeah.
we go.
Mussolini just like dropped dead, like a poison dart, just like hit him in the neck. It was like,
Oh, yeah.
they're like, hey, does anybody want a fucking lasagna?
Well, my 2 favorite
I
things...
got tons of pasta. Does anybody want to eat pasta? And everyone's like, I will take some pasta, thank you.
My
Yes,
2
this
favorite
is
things about
very
Italian
good. I
people is that
appreciate it.
they're fun to be around and live forever.
They really do.
Most of them are immortal.
Oh my god!
Which is-
Actually, you know what? The relative that I'm thinking of right now isn't from the Italian side of your family.
But no, there's I know lots of it. There was, unfortunately, she passed away. I'm not going to name names, of course, but she lived to be like 102,
Oh yeah.
something like that.
Oh yeah.
Great grandmother of a friend of mine.
Yeah.
She was a lovely lady. She had a tall glass of red wine every fucking night.
Respect.
Right after dinner.
That's why she
lived
lived
so
so
long.
long.
It's exactly why she
Yeah.
lived so long. That is, you took the words right out of my fucking mouth. That is
Yeah.
exactly why she lived so long.
Well, it's so funny, right? Because like I always actually. This just goes to show that you were my dream, baby. But I always wanted to like date an Italian guy when I was a kid. I
Really?
used to think that Italian men were like the peak of attractiveness.
No
I was
way.
like, oh yeah, like Italian men are like. I don't know who told me that.
It's a shame I don't look like
Maybe
an Italian guy.
I just watched the Lizzie McGuire movie too many times and was like, I too want to get bamboozled by an attractive Italian scam artist.
I want him to break my heart and
This
take
is
me
the
for
peak
a
of
ride on a
romance.
moped.
This is the peak of romance.
Yes.
So I like had it in my head that like Italian men were like peak cute. Where was I going with that? Maybe I just wanted to say that.
Amazing.
Oh
You should
yeah,
write
yeah.
stories.
No, like so I had all these thoughts in my head about like what it would be like, and then I actually started dating an Italian dude, and like
Oh, this is the worst.
I was like, oh man, the families are exactly what they look like on TV.
Well, it's funny,
Like,
right?
Exactly.
Because
when all of you get together, holy
oh yeah,
shit, is
Like,
it ever a thing?
well, especially it doesn't help that like. So for those who don't know, for those who maybe looked at my avatar and thought that doesn't look like an Italian guy, I'm half Irish and Scottish as well, which, funnily enough, is also known for having hilariously large families.
Yeah.
So when you bring these 3 nationalities together,
Yeah.
you get my family.
Yep.
And
you got the big dinners, and let me tell you, I thought like when I would see like Italian big family dinners on TV, I was like, oh man, that looks so cool. I want that because like my family is so small
excuse me,
and
Jesus.
quiet, and I was like, oh man, that looks so cool. It's so stressful.
It's a lot of energy.
It's a lot of energy in a room, and as an
it's a
only
lot of
child of like a very quiet people, I'm just like, can we just sit quietly for like 2 seconds at this table? Can we just sit quietly at this table, please?
It's right in my ear. Please stop yelling.
Yeah.
No, it's funny, right? Because I'm getting to the point now.
I'm joking, by the way. I have a lovely time with your family.
Of course
and I love
not.
Your family
Yeah,
so
no,
much.
no one thinks that you. No, it's no.
I'm not complaining, and this isn't like, oh yeah, she's making jokes, but she's actually secretly miserable. No, I'm not.
Listen, if there's one group of people who's okay with ripping into them because they do that to themselves, it's my
Yeah.
family.
Yeah.
Everyone. That's one thing I have to hand to my
God bless
family.
them.
Everyone has a sense of humor.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
It's funny. I'm getting to the point now. My mother, who's Italian,
Yeah.
is like becoming almost like a stereotypical Italian mother.
Yep.
Because every dinner we sit down and I gotta go, Mama, why are you cooking so much fucking food? There's 3 of us here. You cook chicken, veal, pork chops, fucking pasta,
That's your
zucchini.
dad's fault. I'm sorry. That's your Scottish, Irish dad's
Who wants
fault.
to be Italian.
Who,
really
yeah,
bad.
Yeah, who really leans into it. Sorry, he's not Irish. He's Scottish.
He's Irish and Scottish.
Is he Irish and Scottish?
He is also Irish and Scottish.
Because there's also Irish on your mom's side of the
Yeah.
family from your grandfather.
Who is also Irish and Scottish.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of...
So-
I'm a weird white person.
Yeah.
I got a whole bunch.
But yeah, your dad wants to be Italian so bad. It's
Like I get where my dad is coming from because he works construction, right?
Yeah.
He's a trade worker.
Mm-hmm.
He's been doing it for 40 years, and I think that's really punk rock.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a huge leftover guy. So in a way, when he cooks huge meals, it's almost like his
for
meal
him.
planning.
Yeah.
You know?
It's for him.
But I keep telling because the thing that gets me, and like, Mom, if you listen to this, I'm not complaining because I would never complain about the meals you make. I'm not gonna be here and be like, this meal you made me for free that I'm freeloading, I don't like it very much.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be a dick about it. But every night we sit down and my mom is like, look at all the food we made. Can you believe all this food? And it's like, you made it.
You made it. You do this to yourself
You
every
fucking
time.
made it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she would, typical Italian, she would rather have too much than not enough.
Oh, and
She would rather be putting away leftovers for days.
And you know
than,
what?
not
I'm
enough
actually
food.
a big component of that as well.
Yeah.
I think there's nothing more embarrassing than having not enough food, especially if
totally.
you're entertaining.
Totally.
It's like, well, because like, and you know my friends who will eat like fucking horses.
Yeah.
So like, buddy boy, and they all show up at different times too.
Yeah.
So like, people are here for dinner, and we sat down, we eat dinner. But there's a bunch of shit left over. So when the stragglers show up, the workers and the stragglers, there's something for them to eat.
Yeah.
You know, and like that's what that makes me really happy. Like that's what I want when it
Yeah.
comes to hosting a dinner party.
Yeah.
I'd be so fucking embarrassed if someone showed up like 2 hours later and was like, "Hey, any food left over?" And I'm like, "No, actually, there's not." Like that would eat me away.
ate
I
it
spent the whole
all.
night being like, "We gotta order Atlanta pizza or something."
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
That's true. That would be super embarrassing.
it would irk me.
Yeah.
That's I think the traditional Italian hospitality. That's where it comes out of me.
Yeah,
the
where it's
most.
like you could show up at any time of the night.
Yeah.
And apparently this is like very true of Italians. Like there's a scene in I think it's Goodfellas. I think it's Goodfellas.
Another
where-
Scorsese film I haven't seen.
We gotta watch it because like that's
You like Goodfellas. You love Goodfellas.
I really like Goodfellas, and I don't remember it very well. I watched it a long ass time ago once, but there's a scene where the boys come home late after they were out doing mob shit, and the Italian mom wakes up. It's 1:00 in the morning, and the Italian mom wakes up, like turns all the lights on and like feeds everybody.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
makes,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Gives everybody pasta, meatballs,
yep.
and like listen, all the thing.
My
And, like,
grandma was that.
First of all, the mom in that movie is like Martin Scorsese's mom. Like he cast her.
Oh, no way, really?
In the movie, and
That's very
He
authentic.
was like, "No, like that's real. Like that was what I grew up. Like we would go out." He was like, "Obviously, I wasn't in the mob. Wink, wink." But
Okay,
no,
Martin.
he wasn't in the mob. He was like,
You and Frank
I'd be-
Sinatra weren't in the mob. Okay.
I'd come home late with my friends, and the moms we'd go to somebody's house, and the moms would always be up, and they would make us like a full meal at like 1:00 in the
Yeah.
morning. They were just like ready, and like no complaints. They weren't like, "Why are you home so late?" None of that shit. No, you get it.
Yeah. That was my grandma. My mom has told me tons of stories about her and her friends and her brother coming home midnight, 1, 2 in the morning. Grandma and Papa, my grandfather, I call him Papa, would wake up and like bust out the cold meats and the fucking cheeses and
All
grandma
that good
would start
shit to eat
cooking
before
something.
bed. It'll clog you up real good
I was about
until
to
morning.
say, my grandma was like, "Enjoy that morning poop, boys. Never come to my house again." No, she loved entertaining.
Yeah.
That was one of the, I mean, that's, yeah, you know, not to get like super sentimental or anything, but like that's what I learned a lot of that like hospitality side. Because hospitality goes such a long way. And I think that the fastest way to get people to like you is to feed them.
Yeah.
Like, am I wrong?
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
You know what I mean?
It's a fast way to get me to like you.
Like when we started dating, I know you liked me, obviously, but I think you really fell in love with me the first time I made you like a kick-ass meal.
Well, it's just reassuring because I was like, okay, listen.
You're pretty fucking lazy.
I was like, listen, your boyfriend's white. He's into video games. He smokes weed. If he can't cook a meal, we're gonna have a problem. You're like, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not being this boy's mother. I'm not. I will not. And then everything worked out, and you're like a really good cook. I love to tell the story about how like one time I asked you to make me Kraft dinner, and like it was taking like 30 minutes, and I was like, "What the fuck is going on?" And you were in my kitchen like putting like sour cream and like oregano and like shredding cheese, and I was like, "There's already cheese. What the fuck, Cameron?"
No.
Fucking powdered cheese packet to the side. I don't even think you used it.
Oh, it went in there.
Okay.
Because it's a nice emulsifier.
What the fuck?
Well, it helps coagulate the cheese to make it into a sauce.
Oh, like thickener.
Like emulsifier, thickener. It's like making. It's sort of like making a roux.
Okay.
Very not really at all.
You made a roux to make Kraft dinner.
I did.
Like
I did do that.
This man, you know.
Making a roux takes 2 seconds.
Give it up.
It's not very hard. That's like okay. So maybe I'm like.
I mean like. I complained and then it was delicious. So
yeah,
that's the sort of cycle that we're in. I
you know
complain and then you make something delicious.
From my side of things, you were having an iffy day, and I think maybe you had the crampies.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to do something special for you.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah, and I love that white cheddar mac and cheese. I'm not gonna lie, that shit is bomb.
Yeah, the PC
really
white
good.
cheddar mac and cheese. If y'all haven't tried it yet, is like the shit.
Oh yeah.
I've never had Kraft Dinner white mac and cheese before, and I'm too nervous to try it because I'm just so loyal to PC mac and cheese. I mean, I'm convinced that it's like top tier.
It's box mac and cheese. It's all the same.
Like, I guess, but that one's really good. That's like the only good thing that came out of my first relationship was that he told me about PC white cheddar mac and cheese.
First boyfriend told you about that, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's the only good thing he gave me.
Good for him, right? I mean, hey, silver linings, am I right?
Took my virginity, gave me white cheddar mac and cheese.
I mean, I think that's worth it.
You know, I value my body a little bit higher than that. It is tasty mac and cheese, though.
Ooh, Nelly.
So.
Yeah.
So.
If
I could just like, no, that's too much. That's
no?
too far. Nope.
Not gonna name drop him.
It's too. No, I wasn't gonna name drop him. I was just gonna.
What's his address?
I was just gonna reveal a very personal anecdote that was too personal, and it doesn't need to go on the internet.
Hard no? Okay,
it simply
sure.
does not. Yeah, it's a hard no. Sorry, fam.
That's all right.
Yeah.
I was gonna say something else about cooking. Right. Okay. So something that irks me about cooking, right? Not the act of cooking, but rather people who say they can't cook. You can cook.
Yeah.
You just don't give a shit.
Well, like, that's my thing. Like, what do you mean? Like, what do people mean? I would love to find one of these people who say they can't cook and be like, what do you mean by that? Like, if I tell you to boil water, do you mean that, like, your, like, klutzy hands are just gonna go, whoa, and you, like, you can't turn the dial on a stove and then put the pasta in there and then watch the pasta and then, like, take it out when it's limp enough and, like, put some sauce on it? Like, are you incapable of doing that? And it's like, what can't you cook? Because there's so much more cooking to do than just like pasta. Like, can you, I don't know, can you make a grilled cheese? You know, like, what do you mean you can't cook?
Right.
What do you mean?
Well, that's what gets me,
There's got to be something that you can do.
Also, not for anything, but no one's asking you to make a fucking beef Wellington.
I was gonna say
on your first try.
I was gonna say
like build up to the beef Wellington.
Nobody's out here trying to get you to make fucking like boeuf bourguignon.
Yeah,
it's not that deep.
I might know what a pate is, but you don't need to know that if you're just making food for yourself.
No, I just
fuck's sake.
Can you steam vegetables? Like, can you steam vegetables? Okay, great.
Oh, yeah.
Can you make pink? Can you make meat that's not pink in the middle when it shouldn't be? Okay. Great.
Aces.
You can cook. Like, you did it. Congratulations.
Well, that's why it gets me where it's
Don't
like...
worry about
like,
it.
I'll send my mom. She'll be like, send me a recipe for tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be like, here's one. It's 15 minutes. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's too hard. I can't do that. She thinks like, okay, so I made this pasta for my dad and my mom a couple of weeks ago. It's really good. It's this, you know what mascarpone is?
The cheese?
Yeah, it's a kind of cheese. It's like an Italian cream cheese.
Yeah.
They use it in tiramisu. Because it's like a sweeter cream cheese.
Okay.
Anyway, I found this recipe. All good over there?
Yeah. I just murked the pop filter.
Nice. We are back, baby.
Yeah.
Long story short, it's this cheese sauce that has mascarpone and parmesan, and you mix it with peppers and mushrooms, and it's this lovely cream sauce pasta, and it's delicious. It took me maybe 20 minutes to make. I said to my mother, and she was like, "No, it's too complicated." And I asked her, "What's complicated about it?"
Yep.
You have an answer for me. So you just don't want to fucking do it.
Yeah, and like that's valid. Like if you're the kind of person, like because of your lifestyle or just because of your personality, you don't like cooking.
That's true. I really do love cooking.
You cannot like cooking. That is valid. That's your opinion. You're allowed to have that. You can't. It's not that you can't cook though.
Oh yeah.
You know how to cook. You just don't want to. You just don't want to do it half the time.
My mom.
You know, that's fair. My mom does not like cooking.
Neither does my mom.
And
my dad's.
It's getting progressively worse and worse and worse as she goes on because she's a huge fan of the frozen entree, but like cook vegetables to go with it.
Oh, but don't turn into. Doesn't your grandma do that?
Yep.
Oh.
It's a slippery slope, my
Mom.
love.
I know you listen to this, Mom.
She is currently slipping down the slippery slope, and if I don't keep an eye on her, she will feed me Hungry Man's.
Listen, if you ever get fed Hungry Man's, you call me. I don't care what time I'll come over and make you guys something.
Okay.
You guys have that new stove now. I can't wait to use it.
I'll just like call her, or I'll call you. You'll get a call one day from me, and you'll be like, "What's wrong?" And I'll be like, and you're like, "Sam, what's wrong?" I'm like, "Cameron." And you're like, "Sam, it's 10 o'clock at night." I'm like, "Mom said we had to have Hungry Man's for dinner. Can you come feed me?"
On my way. I legit would get up out of bed for that.
Please, I don't want to eat heated up cherries for dessert.
Sam, I fucking guarantee that if your mother, and I don't think she ever would, was to ever feed you Hungry Man's, that I could come over and find something in your house that I can make into a meal for you.
I hope so.
Because that's the best part about cooking, and the best part of being a fucking stoner in college, is you get really good, because cooking is just throwing shit together. That's all it is. Like, baking is science. Cooking is just slapping shit together and hope that it tastes good.
It really is.
But you know what, though? You get really good at doing that.
Yep.
And that's like I don't want to toot my own horn. I'm talking like I'm fucking Bobby Flay. No, I'm not. I'm a home cook, and I'm really just
really
all right.
Good home cook, though.
I appreciate you saying that. I think I'm really just all right. I
ordered a whole pasta aliolo for in memory of you one time when we were still social distancing. And
you made a pasta aliolo.
I didn't make it. I ordered it.
Oh, you ordered one. Oh, okay.
Listen.
That's another really easy pasta to make, though.
Do not get excited. Yeah, I'm sure it's super.
It's super simple.
It's oil and parsley. Like, what's the trouble?
I can actually tell you how to make it right now.
How do you make it?
Okay, so you slice up some garlic.
Everybody tune in.
You slice up some garlic.
Okay.
But like not chop, not press. You slice it.
Okay.
You cook it in some oil for about a couple minutes till it gets nice and brown. You take it off the heat. And you put chili flakes in it. And you boil your pasta to your desired al dente. Al dente is the right consistency. If you're making anything else, you are cooking it wrong. After which, you drain the pasta. You take a little bit of the pasta water aside. You mix the oil and the pasta together. Toss it. Get the parsley in there. Toss it. Throw the pasta water in there. Toss it. Spritz it with some lemon. And there you fucking go.
Pasta aliolo.
That's the way she goes.
End of discussion.
That's all. It's 7 ingredients. It is the... Okay, not to get
it's so good.
Not to get super philosophical, but something I love about cooking, and especially Italian food, we're going back to Italians, Italian food is all based on the notion of simplicity. Like, simple is best. A lot of Italian foods have like 4 ingredients. You notice. Like, even pizza, if you think about it,
it's just the time.
Is 4 things.
It's just the time. Like, Italian food is really good when it's
about
made,
the
like,
care.
when it's like low and slow.
Yes. It's all about the care.
So, with the exception maybe of like wood fire ovens, because those get really, really
well, yeah,
hot.
that's literally, you blast it for 90 seconds.
Yeah, and you don't need
I'm gonna burp.
And yeah, no, like it's time, but like the ingredients are simple, and like that's what I think that's honestly what puts people off of Italian cooking is just like the time. So like yeah, like it doesn't take a lot to make dough, but you have to like let it rest for like an hour.
Oh, making dough is like a day long thing. If you want it to be.
If you really want it to be.
You can make speed doughs and shit, but you would need like a stand mixer for that.
And you sacrifice things for it.
Yeah, it's not as good, to be honest with you. You're right, yeah, because ideally, I'm not going to get into that, but like ideally you want to use yeast and shit, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But no, I'm a firm believer, and I'm going to get so much flack for this, from you, I can imagine already, but like the biggest ingredient in food, and this goes for all kinds of food, is the heart, love, and care.
Oh, fuck you. No, I'm just kidding.
You put into making it.
Yeah.
And I mean that, though. How many times have not you, but you know someone who cooks, and you could tell that they really just, like,
Schlepped it.
blasted it together. Like,
Yeah.
here is pasta with red sauce, I guess.
Yeah.
But no, there's little things you can do. Like, fun fact, once you finish your red sauce, take a little bit of butter, dab it in the sauce. Makes it 4 to 5 times tastier. Oh, your pasta sauce isn't adhering to your pasta? Get a little bit of starchy pasta water, mix it with the sauce and the pasta. There you go. You have a beautiful, beautiful attachment now. It's small little details that'll make up the huge world of difference when it comes to cooking. And people forget about the small details, and that's what I love about cooking. It's the love and care you put into something, and the detail-oriented passion behind cooking that really brings out the flavor in things.
So I've gained all of my COVID weight back, obviously, because I'm hanging out with this motherfucker
No, you
again.
haven't. No, you haven't.
I haven't weighed myself yet, so we'll see. But like, it's happening. I also I ate like a full plate of Chinese food the other night at your house,
that was
and I was
tasty.
like, oh man,
Again, my mom
quarantine
ordered,
Sam's stomach couldn't have done this. This is scary. I don't like this. Well, because like I liked where my appetite was during quarantine, which I'm probably the only person. I'm the only person who feels this way probably, but I got my quarantine appetite because I used to boredom eat all the time, and I stopped boredom eating in quarantine, and that made it so that when it came time to eat meals, I weirdly enough you would think that I was just like hungry and I would eat my meals and that's done, but no, I because I was eating less, I thought to eat less during my meals as well, so my portions were smaller,
Right.
and then my appetite got smaller. Out of habit, and then I went to your house for the first time, and your dad was like, "Sam, eat, God,
Yeah.
what? One plate? What is this?" And I
Fuck
was
is
like,
wrong with you?
like I think I was like on the couch after like the first time coming back to your house.
Yeah.
After
Because the first time you gave us pizza, Dad
we
made a
opened
bunch
it
of
back up
pizzas.
again. Oh my God, we had like 6 fucking pizzas, and I just had to like lie down on the patio furniture and take up all of the space and be like, no, I need to stretch my stomach so it can adjust.
You took a nap. You took like a legitimate nap.
I passed out.
Yeah.
That was
Opposite, I gained a bunch of weight in quarantine. So I'm just trying to like do something about that. I've taken up Ring Fit Adventure.
You found a Ring Fit Adventure.
Yeah, one came into my store and I bought the shit out of that.
Yeah, cop that.
And let me tell you, I am way more out of shape than I ever give myself credit for.
You find that.
Well, it's like, obviously, I mean, I don't exercise and I overeat all the time. So, of course, I'm out of shape. Obviously, I'm out of shape. But something that's really nice about Ring Fit is that it sort of gamifies exercise, right? And that appeals to me because I love video games. But it's also something that, like, I can do for 20 minutes a day, work up a great sweat, and feel like I've worked out, you know? So I'm going to continue with that. I'm only on day 2 as of today. And the difficulty was way too high. Just way too high.
The difficulty was way too high.
Well, it got to the point where, like, after today, like, because what the game does is really smart, right? It has a little timer in the corner of, like, how long you've exercised, but it only goes up if you're exercising. Because the way you move in the game is you jog in place. That's how you get around. So you got to jog in place to get around, and the clock will move, and when you get into a fight, you have to do exercises. So, like, squats or, like, overhead thrusts or, like, blah, 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 whatever, right? The difficulty that I was on was 20 reps in attack. And I can't do that.
That's too high.
I don't got that kind of muscle
Fucking
yet.
20 squats just to attack somebody once. And
20
then you gotta
squats
do
to
it
get
again.
halfway through an enemy's health bar.
Nope.
Like, I'm dying over here.
Nope. Can't do that.
Yeah.
Can't do that. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, anyway, that's been fun, I guess. It's just working on myself and
So
trying to get a new habit going.
So what's the premise of Ring Fit Adventure? Like, is there a story to it, or do you just like, I don't know.
It's
Is it like Pokemon where you just like walk up to somebody and attack
the
them?
story is because the controller you use for Ring Fit Adventure is called the Ring Con. It's a tension band.
I saw it on the couch.
It's over there. Yeah, you can. And in the game, your player character finds a similar thing. His name is Ring. He's like an ancient ring who was up until that point holding the bad guy Drago within him, like he's sealed in there. But then Drago broke out. Drago's hilarious. He's this like super buff dragon, and he like always like works out all the time. It's really funny actually.
So I can bust out of the ring.
Exactly. So he busted out, and then Ring was like, "Okay, dude, like you gotta help me save the world," and that's what you do.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and I personally chose to play as the girl character because I really like the way she looks because it's purely just a design thing that I like. But when you exercise correctly and are at a good pace, her hair will like flare up and like turn orange and start glowing.
That's cool.
But it looks really cool with her ponytail. And I found the guy avatar just has like short hair. And I don't like it as much.
Yeah.
I like fire hair, cool girl.
Yeah.
So I went with her.
Nice.
And that's the whole game. It's really fun. It's
cool.
pretty. It's really gorgeous. It's like it's a first party Nintendo game. So naturally it looks really good on the Switch.
That's really impressive.
But yeah, it's got cool shit like.
Because I gotta give it to Nintendo this time around because like Wii Fit was super popular with the Wii.
Still is.
But Wii Fit, like.
Pretty drab.
Yeah, it had like the gray Wii Fit lady, and like it was just.
It's very bare bones.
It was a workout video, you know, like it was just a workout video.
It's like you're being instructed how to work out.
Yeah, it's like sure you're using a game console to work out, but you're not playing a game.
Yeah, exactly.
You're working out.
They gamified exercise.
Yeah, whereas Ring Fit gamifies exercise.
But something I really love, and this is so sappy of me, but I love that Ring. You actually there's so many customizations options. You can make Ring, your little companion, have a female voice or a male voice. Mm-hmm. So if you're the kind of person who gets encouragement for like you better hear encouragement from a dude or a woman.
I was gonna say, if you've been traumatized by your male gym teacher, you don't have to listen to that.
Yeah, but I had but like something I really like is that Ring. Obviously, that it's a Nintendo character in a Nintendo game. He's very positive, and he's very supportive. Mm-hmm. So, like, I remember one time I was on the floor doing leg raises, which is an attack you can do, and dying, by the way, having a really hard time. I got to the point with only 5 reps left, and Ring's like, only 5 more left. Like, you could do it. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I can't do it.
I can't do it. Thank you, Ring. That's so cute.
He's like your little personal trainer.
That's cute.
Because he always, like, something that's really good about the game is that obviously posture and form is really important.
Yeah.
Because if you fuck up your form, you're just going to hurt yourself.
Yeah.
So, like, you'll do shit. Like, I did a squat that wasn't low enough, and Ring would be like, try a little bit lower. You know, like it clocked that.
Try a little bit lower. As in, like, you should go lower, but he's, like, saying try as if he's, like, giving you an option.
Oh, the game is...
And it doesn't feel so,
exactly.
Like,
it's not like,
so
go
pressure.
lower!
Yeah.
No, the game is super supportive. I love its positivity. I love its optimism.
That's cool.
I really like how it's, like... Because the Switch... I don't have my Joy-Cons here. I can't show you. But on the bottom of the right Switch is a IR sensor, which means it can test your heart rate.
Oh,
So at the end of every workout, I test my heart rate, and then it's like, you did moderate exercise. Like, good for you. Mm-hmm. And obviously there's a huge disclaimer being like heart rate monitoring is very estimate heavy, and it's not meant to be like taken at face value or whatever, right? It's a whole thing. But no, there's like if you play for 20 minutes, the game would be like, hey, so you've been playing for 20 minutes, like maybe you call it a day. Or like, if you want to keep going, go ahead. But no, you've been doing good, so chill. Like, come back tomorrow.
So, can you finish, quote-unquote, Ring Fit Adventure?
That I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, I was fighting a boss today. That's actually when I'm going to wear this on my chest because I feel like it'll help me. I only made about 5 minutes into the workout today because I wasn't fully recovered from yesterday, and the difficulty is too high. So I went and fought a boss. I went and fought Drago, and got about 5 exercises in, and was only about halfway through his health bar, and thought, I am going to fucking throw up.
Okay.
So I need to stop. Like, I can't do this right now.
Yeah.
I need to stop. Because I was drenched in sweat.
Yeah.
I was dying. So I was like, I'm going to hurt myself or get sick. And the game has told me 9 times already that you don't want to do either of those
you
things.
Can stop, yeah.
So tomorrow, ideally, I'd do it before work, but I might have to do it after work because I'm sleepy. I'm going to be like, yesterday was really hard. Can we turn the difficulty down a little bit?
A little bit, please.
Because there's an options of like you could turn the difficulty down a lot, or you can difficulty down a little bit. So I'm gonna do like just a titch.
Just a titch.
Even if it's 15 reps, I think I can do that.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
5 less is a lot.
Good for you.
It's just, but you know what though? I'm being honest with myself because I'm not in shape at all.
Yeah.
If that's too much, I'm gonna keep going lower. I don't care
no
if
shame in that.
If 5 reps is how I make me feel the burn and I can actually complete an exercise.
Nope.
That's what I want.
No, there's no shame in that at all. And you're gonna get there eventually if you keep at it. And
I certainly want to.
That's kind of the joy of working out. Or at least it was when I was working out. Who knows when I'm gonna go back to a gym at this point because of the world. But yeah, it's like like I would feel like shit when I'd have my little like 5-10 pound weights at the gym. But when I went from like squatting 5 pounds to squatting 10 pounds, I was like, holy
hell
shit.
Yeah, you're getting strong.
Ooh, I'm a strong mommy.
I'm a strong mommy.
I'm so fucking strong. And you're gonna feel that way too. So
I hope so.
Take pleasure, if I can tell you one thing, take pleasure in the journey of like getting there, you know?
I mean, this is so...
And knowing that like extra little bit every day is a one step farther than you were the day before.
I'm just trying to meet that 20-minute exercise mark every day. Because like, I know there's people out there that's like, you're not supposed to work out every day. But it's like, but you do need to exercise for 20 minutes daily. Like, that's just, doctors say that all the time. Like, you should try to get 20 minutes of light exercise done every day. And I'm someone who could stand to do a lot more than light exercise every day.
Yeah.
I could probably do moderate exercise every day.
Yeah.
Because that's something I need to do.
Yeah.
And I'm acknowledging that with myself. Because, you know, not for anybody, I don't want to die when I'm 40.
I don't want you to die when you're 40 either.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate you saying that.
I'm going to outlive you, but like, you're not
But that's
allowed
just
to
statistics.
die when you're 40.
Yeah.
You're going to die at like 79, and I'm going to die at like 86.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I mean, because that's
not a bad existence without you.
79, no.
No, like 79, and then I die at like 86. It's like, you know, like 5, 6
My legacy
years.
will be left on the world, hopefully.
Yeah.
And then you and our grandkids or
I
kids
can carry
or
on, get one of those little
roommates.
get one of those little boyfriends, you know.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. Actually, I felt bad the one day. So my grandma has this boyfriend, and we don't like him. And
wow, just put that out there.
Unfortunately, he can't live independently anymore, so he's in a home.
Oh,
and because
people.
he's not independent anymore, he can't like come over to my grandma's house anymore and hang out with her and stuff. But he does call her in the morning. He calls her at night, and he always sings her a song at night. And like we went over there because it was her birthday recently, and like he called her, and she was like, "Hi, Roy." His name's Roy, and she was like, "Cindy and Sam are over, and." And Roy was like, "Oh, okay, so no singing tonight." She was like, "No, but maybe tomorrow, though." And I was like, "I'm a monster. I did this.
Why don't you like Roy?
I did this."
He seems so sweet.
Roy's kind of a fucking creep.
Is he a womanizer? Does he get around the home?
No. He's not a womanizer. I'm just thinking about how much I want to share on this podcast.
You don't have to at all.
Yeah. Maybe I won't air out my grandma's laundry on the podcast. I mean, she's never gonna hear it, but like, well, I do respect my grandma, so
yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna hold off
and
on
Roy
her. But
is
like, we just
alive.
Okay. Here's what you can do. Here's what you can do. Not that he needs any more promotion, but if you've ever seen John Mulaney's A Sack Lunch Bunch, and there's like a song about his grandma's boyfriend Paul, that was my family. With Roy.
I never saw.
I know you haven't. I'm speaking to the audience at this point.
Okay, audience.
And like you can YouTube the song, but it's basically about like how grandma gets a new boyfriend, and like all of the aunties and the cousins get together to like hate him for no good reason.
Well, not for anything, but like okay. I think that if you're an old person, dude or not dude, dating someone else, especially if they're fresh off like a death,
a widow,
that is a impossible situation. That there's no way to win, right? So
someone always thinks it's too soon, even if it's like 3 fucking years.
Well, it's also like, I mean, like, I obviously never had this problem because my grandmother on my father's side is extremely devout and wouldn't even dream. All my grandparents are dead, but like, when she was alive, wouldn't dream of even finding someone else to date.
Yeah.
And
very Catholic in that sense.
And you know what? My other grandma was very much the same way. Like they were together for 60 years.
Right.
And that's enough for her, right?
Yeah.
And in my opinion, like, not to get like weirdly on this topic somehow. Years from now, Sam, when you and I are very, very old, and if one of us is to pass away, like, I personally would not seek out another relationship. I mean, just. Because whatever, you know,
I'm like that though.
Yeah, I'm also like.
Yeah. I might want to live out the hoe phase that I never had.
In your 80s?
In my 80s. Get real Golden Girls with it.
Hey, you know what? That's your once I'm dead, baby. You're free.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. What was I watching the other day? Oh yeah, there's this joke in Curb Your Enthusiasm where Larry and his wife are restating their vows for their anniversary. And his wife is like, "Oh yeah, like I'll love you even into the afterlife." And Larry's like, "The afterlife?" And she's like, "Yes, I love you like forever and ever into eternity." And he was like, "I thought that this kind of like ended when we died, and like I had plans to like." He doesn't say it, but he basically says that he had plans to fuck other women after he died. So he's like upset that his wife wants to like stay with him into the afterlife because
wow. What a jerk. like what a douchebag.
But like, is he wrong though? I don't know.
I guess so. Sam, if you want to fuck other people that bad, we could talk about that.
If there is an afterlife, I would just like to consider maybe the possibility that we say, hey, we had a good like 60 fucking year run on Earth. Can I like bang Nick Kroll now?
Wow.
Like, he's right here.
Just
can
let
I
him
do
all
that
out.
now?
Nick Kroll's not going to heaven.
Is that
Sorry, Nick. I don't know you, Nick Kroll, but you seem like a nice guy.
Okay. Oh my god, yeah, sure. I'm just like pulling out an oldie from the Celebrity Crush vault.
Don't act like you still don't have a crush on Nick Kroll.
It's past. No, because he has a girlfriend now, so it's over. That's how they work.
Really?
As soon as they get girlfriends, my crush ends.
Really? You've never crushed on a dude with a girlfriend? Ever?
In real life, yeah. Celebrities, it stops.
I guess because the fantasy is over then.
Yeah, it's shot. What am I fucking gonna do? Like,
wow.
I have no chance with this person, and you have a girlfriend, you're like extra unavailable. At least there was a chance that like we like could pass each other on the street and then we have like a fucking like Cinderella moment and you're like, can you like have to find me? But no, you have a fucking, you're rich, you don't live in the same country as me, we don't run in similar circles, there's an age gap, we don't have the same interests really if I think about it, and you have a girlfriend, like now it's extra not gonna happen. So the crush just fades away.
Wow, I didn't know that about you.
It's very superficial, and you know what? It's allowed to be, because guess what? Nick Kroll will never love me, and I know that.
I mean, don't put all your eggs in one basket.
I partake in the fantasy, but like Nick Kroll's never gonna fucking love me.
Right.
So like, it doesn't fucking matter.
Could you break down what about Nick Kroll was appealing to you?
I'm trying to think back to like the height of it and like what it was about him.
Who's your new boy toy then? Pete Davidson.
Shush! Don't stop saying things out loud. For
Are
all
you
to
embarrassed?
Hear. A little bit.
Why?
A little bit.
Pete Davidson's a good-looking guy.
No, because I have such a type.
If you like rats.
That's so mean.
I'm kidding.
He's done a lot of work on himself.
I am joking.
No, I have a type, and it's just so weird because like dating you was such a deviation from my type, and it's what I needed to do, and I needed to deviate from my type because my type wasn't working.
Right. You're too tired of these skinny white boys breaking your heart.
But it's just like absolutely embarrassing that like I've met the love of my life and I'm still like, oh my god, look at this, like he's so cute. Oh my god, he's like so honest about all of his like mental illnesses and like you know, he like hangs out with Machine Gun Kelly. They're like best friends. Yeah. Machine Gun Kelly.
Do you want me to start like getting full sleeves of tattoos and smoking weed all damn day long?
Sure.
All right.
Apparently it works.
Yeah, I guess so.
No, but it's just like it's just like kind of embarrassing to me that I have this like I had this penchant for like scrawny little white boys that I could like crush with my thumb, and then I meet you and like we're compatible and we're meant to be and it's all of this stuff, and then like I'm still like obviously I would never like proper cheat on you, and like if I saw someone who looked like,
I should fucking hope so.
But like I'm still looking at like scrawny little white boys that I could crush with my thumb, like this is looking pretty good.
Wow.
It's like, what the fuck is the matter with me? What is the matter with me?
Are we gonna have one of those serious conversations we have after this podcast?
No, it's not necessary. No, because and like I want to say, like I know I joked earlier, I was like, Nick Kroll will never love me, but it's like when I have these crushes on these celebrities, I know that it's rooted in fantasy.
Well, of course.
That none of it is real. That it's not going to happen.
It's like
that
horny
these people are
porn.
that I am falling in love with the persona that they market specifically to the general public, being me.
Right.
And it's not. I don't actually know the person. I don't know them intimately. I think about all the ways that I know you, and it's like I don't fucking know Nick Kroll like that. I don't know fucking Daniel Radcliffe like that. It's not.
I forgot that you like Daniel Radcliffe.
It's not real.
I think I like Daniel Radcliffe.
Oh man,
I want him to sit on my face.
He's grown up to be such a good person too, and I'm just so happy about it.
Yeah, I mean, like we say this all the time, but I love actors like Daniel Radcliffe and Elijah Wood who like made their money on like massive franchises and are now just doing weird shit.
Yeah,
like
Robert Pattinson too.
And Robert Pattinson is another example.
Fuck it, yeah.
You know, because like why not?
Yeah.
Like you like okay, well I think Elijah Wood and Daniel Radcliffe had positive experiences in Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter respectively, but the other ones are different. But
Robert Pattinson hates Twilight.
Yeah, he's vocal about it too.
Yeah.
But I love that they're in this situation. Like that's a situation that I want to be in. Yeah. To be like, I got my money. Yeah. Like my fucking grandkids got enough money to put themselves through college.
Let's play a guy with guns for hands.
Yeah, dude. I want to see that movie. I heard it was good.
Yeah, it's probably really good.
I mean, after seeing
really fucking good actor.
After seeing Swiss Army Man, I'm down to see anything Daniel Radcliffe is in.
Yeah, I was really impressed.
I never thought that I would be that emotionally moved by a movie with that much farting and boners in it.
Well, that was the movie that made me realize that maybe I was a little too hard on our movement coaches in university.
Right, right.
Thinking that it was all just a bunch of like new agey mumbo jumbo, and that there was some validity in what they were saying. But yeah, no, like I fucking like I get these crushes on these boys, and like I know that it's not fucking real, and I know that I'm falling in love with their persona that they market specifically to like make money. So like,
for the record, I'm not bothered by any of this.
And
like,
I appreciate
play
that.
it up for the podcast.
I'm always a little afraid of it because I did have a boyfriend who was bothered by it, and
I don't give a shit.
It was like it was in a really gross way. So I'm always like worried about that shit.
Well, I'm not that insecure.
And I just want you to know that like it is fantasy.
Of course,
like, it's just fantasy.
Whatever, dude.
It's 100% fantasy. I dream about like fucking going to Montauk and like buying a really, really skimpy bikini off Zaful and then like getting photographed by paparazzi in it. And it's like, it's pure fantasy.
Yeah, everybody has that.
Also,
everybody has
everything
that.
I just said has nothing to do with having a crush on a boy.
I know. I mean, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about just now.
It's just a vessel for me to dream about being rich because I'll never be rich.
I mean, not yet.
You know what, dude? Hard topic switch. Like, I actually don't think I want to be rich.
I want to be comfortable.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck about being rich.
Yeah.
I don't want to have money in excess and hoard it like a fucking dragon.
Yeah.
I want to pay my bills.
I don't want excess wealth.
I want to order food once a week or something.
I want a life.
You know?
I want money that will give me a life.
I want to pay for maybe like a 2-bedroom apartment.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Living large, 2 bedrooms.
Yeah, exactly. I want to be able to afford any kind of domicile so that however many kids I wind up having, they can each have their own bedroom.
Yeah.
I never want my kids to have to share a bedroom because I think that that's really important to have your own space and establish your own space.
Well, see, the goal is, Sam, because we both are getting, well, you more than me, but like both of us want to get into writing and creation and all these different things, is to make an interesting property and then sell it to Disney for $1 billion. Fucking done it. How hard could that be?
Yeah. I'll sell out.
Oh, listen,
I'll give Disney, like, I want to be so good that I have like so many excellent ideas that it doesn't even bother me to give a property away to Disney and completely sell out because I have another property.
Right.
You know, like take I'll use Harry Potter as an example, but like fuck turfs as always.
Yeah.
I want to come up with like a Harry Potter type trademark and then like own the rights to that trademark and then come up with a different franchise.
I mean, I'm sure
the one that I really love, and it's also
a monumental amount of work.
also very good, and I don't sell that one out, and then I just like do the artist thing, and I'm like, no, I'll never sell this property.
It's my baby.
This is for the people, and I want to keep it for the people.
Yeah, you got to George Lucas it. Make Star Wars literally to make money.
Yeah.
And then make your money and get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Like, okay, 100%. So I'm gonna go on a small tangent because we're at an hour 10.
I'm gonna create space fascism and then just bow out.
We're not gonna go for let's watch. There's a great Netflix series, and I told you about this obviously off mic, but everyone should watch it if you're interested.
The Toys That Made Us.
The Toys That Made Us. Talking about Toys That Made Us.
Do I know you or do I know you?
Well, yeah, because I was talking about Star Wars and the Toys That Made Us. So George Lucas wrote Star Wars to then bring to toy companies and be like, wouldn't it be dope to have toys of this story? Let's help me fund this movie and then make my toys so we can all make $1 billion. That's why he wrote Star Wars. I get that Star Wars is a cultural phenomenon and that it's very important to people. And I think that's great.
Yeah.
But people who praise George Lucas like he's the fucking second coming of Jesus Christ for writing this story is like, George Lucas wanted to make $1 billion. And then he made $1 billion. And you know what? Credit to him. That's a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I have a problem with...
You know what? It's honest. You know?
Yeah.
I appreciate the fact that he says in his whole chest, I want to make a bunch of money off of this property.
That's what he did. And I think that's great.
Yeah, I did it to get rich. You
can still love Star Wars and acknowledge the fact that it was created to make $1 billion.
Yeah.
Like, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm not trying to disparage Star Wars. I'm not even trying to disparage George Lucas.
Yeah.
I just wish people would be more honest about that.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah, it's sort of weird thing to end the podcast on.
And, that's kind of the beauty... And we can really end it on this note, this beautiful note. Like, that's the beauty of art, which is you make it, you put it out into the world, and then it doesn't belong to you anymore. Yeah. It belongs to the people and how they
to the culture.
You and I were a part of a show in university that we weren't very proud of, that we did not like, that we hated actually, and was a terrible process the whole way through.
Talk about that one day. When we're famous, we'll talk about that.
Listen. And like, despite us not liking it, and I think about it every day and I'm like, it wasn't a good show. Like, it didn't have a plot and it didn't have conflict and it was just...
Well, It
didn't tell a story at all. Mm-hmm. And yet,
people who saw it,
the reactions from the people who saw it were so powerful and visceral that I was like, okay, you know what? I don't like this, but it did what I make art for, in the sense that it touched people and made them get into touch with a part of themselves that they needed to get in touch with helped them in some way. And that's really why I make it. So like I dead ass, like I didn't like this show at all. And one time I was actually on the bus on the way to school to do it again. And somebody came up to me and she was like, "You're in that show at UW." And I was like,
I am.
Oh, and I was like, show name? I was like, and she was like, yeah. And I was like, yeah.
Sorry.
That's so crazy that I'm getting recognized. That's, wow, thank you for coming, I guess. And she was like, I just wanted to tell you that show was so powerful and it was really good and I really enjoyed it. And I was like, damn. Great. You walked up to me on the bus. You broke the like personal bubble thing, and like I was sitting in the back and she was sitting in the front. She came from the front to the back.
She saw you walk on that bus
and came up and talked to me about it, and that was the moment where I was like, you know what, like,
this is worth it. Even if you didn't like it, it's worth it.
It belongs to that person.
Yep.
It belongs to that person.
Yeah, you're right.
That's who I made this show for. That's who I put up with all of the bullshit surrounding that show for. And yeah, Star Wars was made to make $1 billion. Fine, but if it touched you along the way, then,
in a good way,
like, that's fine too.
Hell yeah.
Like, that's totally valid. Maybe George Lucas did make it to make $1 billion. Maybe it did, but it took this other route, and that's the beauty of art. Listen, and that's what I'm in it for.
Yes. Yeah. You know what? Yeah. I was gonna add on and say, like, I love Mario games, and Mario is basically the fucking Mickey Mouse of video games nowadays, and he is Nintendo's cash machine. And I acknowledge that. But I still love the artistry behind the games. And that's a whole other conversation. But I want to thank everyone for listening to this episode of the Chill Spot Podcast. You can find us on...
we got somewhere with this episode eventually.
Yeah, I mean, this is actually one of our longer episodes. We're at an hour 15.
Wow.
Might be a little bit less out because I always cut things here and there.
Cool.
Anyway, but you can always find us every Tuesday at 3 p.m. on YouTube. We always upload a little bit early on streaming services, around 1 p.m.-ish on streaming services. So you can always listen to us then. If you'll be sure to follow us on social medias, if you could check out our description boxes for all that shite. Follow us on Twitch and never miss another Twitch stream.
Yes, ma'am.
Anything you want to add, Sam?